As a massive lightning beast lunged at him, sending him flying with a single swipe, a flood of new memories suddenly hit him, revealing the creature was an enraged beast. And he recalled this world was Blue Star, a planet where space rifts had torn open the sky. And from these rifts, countless beasts emerged, bringing all of humanity to its knees. But in the chaos, a life force was found, granting humans extraordinary new powers. And he then remembered his own past life, awakening in this world after he had died. His focus snapped back to the present. As the beast roared with terrifying power, and he barely managed to block its attack, feeling the strong electric current on its body, knowing a single touch could be fatal as the shockwave hurled him backwards. And an explosion of purple energy rocked the forest. He gritted his teeth, refusing to give up, noticing the beast was tangled in the trees. And he saw this as his only chance, lunging forward with a flurry of strikes. But his stamina was gone, his blade leaving no mark, as he realized this new body had no talent. He knew its owner was on a suicide mission. But the beast roared, lunging for the kill, its massive jaws closing in on him. He refused to die, vowing to live on, and spotted the beast's unprotected heart. Suddenly, a gauntlet smashed through its chest, leaving him stunned on the forest floor. A mysterious woman was standing over him, telling someone named Chu Mo to leave. And he recognized her as Chen XX, his friend. A flood of their shared memories hit him, of their parents planning their future, and how they were left alone after a tragedy. She had promised to find a way to help him, but the body's owner had pushed her away, blaming her family for his parents' deaths. And he felt disgusted by his predecessor. Back in the present, Chen XX stumbled, her stamina completely drained from the fight. She collapsed. And he rushed to catch her, seeing she was badly hurt, yet came to save him, and she was shocked that he was talking to her. She warned him the dead wolf would call its pack, urging him to escape while he still could, but then they both heard a sound in the dark. Chenzi braced herself for another attack as a whole pack of beasts emerged, their bodies crackling with purple energy. And she screamed for Chu Mo to run, throwing herself back into the fight. Her attack created a massive energy blast, but the backlash injured her badly, sending the wolves flying through the air. And Chu Mo rushed to catch her. As she fell, he winced from the force of the impact, realizing she had been knocked unconscious. At that moment, another beast stalked toward them, and Chu Mo's eyes widened in terror. The entire pack had them surrounded. He knew even a skilled fighter like her had no chance, feeling the crushing weight of his own powerlessness. But he refused to die, searching for a way out when his hand touched the first dead wolf. Suddenly, a strange blue interface appeared, and he could only stare in confusion. A system message materialized before him, telling him he could absorb the beast's power. And with the pack closing and he made his choice, the absorption succeeded, offering a new talent, and he accepted it without a second thought. He screamed as its power surged through him, and a massive blast of energy erupted, sending the nearby wolves flying back as he felt the new talent course through him. But the wolf pack lunged at him once more, and he gripped his knife, now charged with lightning. No longer afraid of the creature's charge, his blade crackled with newfound power. And he felt the energy building inside him. The wolves hesitated, sensing his new strength. And he realized his wounds had healed, their attacks now seemed slow and weak. He believed he could now cut them down. Vowing to win and protect Chenzi, with a single thought he attacked, leaping into the heart of the pack. He unleashed a furious battle cry, a blur of motion and purple lightning, cutting through the beasts one by one. His movements were fluid and deadly, his eyes glowing with raw, untamed power. In moments, the entire pack lay defeated. He couldn't believe he had actually won. When the system interface reappeared, revealing his new incredible combat stats, he marveled at his newfound strength, as his base power was already impressive. But the lightning talent had doubled it. His body felt healthier than ever before. When the system pinged with a notification it had found another target for absorption, he realized he could absorb from the beast again, and a greedy smile spread across his face. He activated the system once more, pulling a different energy from the wolf, and successfully extracted its blood essence. This essence could speed up his training, but the system said the beast was depleted, and he could only absorb from it once a month. With the looting done, he turned to Chenzi. He gently lifted her into his arms and back at his home. She began to stir, trapped in a nightmare, calling his name. She was reliving the terrifying wolf attack, trying to push him to safety while she fought, but in her dream a wolf lunged past her, and she watched in horror as it attacked him. Her mind was filled with the image of his death, and she jolted awake with a terrified scream, clutching her head. She winced in pain. Chu Mo greeted her as she woke up, offering her a bowl with a gentle smile, and revealed a huge meal he had prepared. She was stunned, asking how they got back, but he just told her to eat first, leaving her flustered by his sudden kindness. They ate together in an awkward silence, and Chu Mo panicked, trying to break the tension. Chenzi seemed lost in her own thoughts, so he lied, saying an exploration team saved them, but she didn't respond to his story. So feeling awkward, he said he would leave. His words finally seemed to reach her, as she couldn't believe he was being so kind. Dream she never wanted to end. Meanwhile, Chu Mo closed his bedroom door, letting out a heavy sigh of relief. He knew their relationship was broken, and decided to focus on his own survival, starting by refining the blood essence. The process was immediately agonizing as a wave of intense pain washed over him. He screamed as the power tore through his body, the raw energy almost overwhelming him. But through the pain, he grinned, ready to master it. 1 month later, Chu Mo entered his training room, his body now honed by intense practice. His eyes snapped open, crackling with lightning, and he unleashed his newfound power. Arcs of violent energy erupted from his fists, tearing through the room with incredible force. As the chaos subsided, a single petal fell, and he caught it with impossible speed. He reflected on his progress, the essence refined, and the system revealed his new combat stats. His basic strength had soared by 600 Jin, a massive boost from the beast's essence. He had spent the entire month training, but knew there were geniuses far beyond him. Later, he washed off the sweat from his workout, calculating he could become a martial artist in 6 months. Meanwhile, in another training room, Chenzi unleashed a flurry of powerful strikes. She pushed herself to the absolute limit, and the power meter displayed her score a staggering 8365. But it wasn't enough. The Academy's trial required a two-headed python, and she felt she still had a long way to go. Suddenly, a terrifying memory flashed in her mind, the image of Chu Mo being attacked. She vowed to become a true martial cultivator. Thinking of Chu Mo, she promised he would see. She would get the python's heart to fix his body. Meanwhile, Chu Mo arrived at a commercial district, a bustling market for hunters and warriors. He saw vendors selling high-grade beast parts, and his system identified countless targets. But he knew these level 1 corpses were useless when suddenly he was stopped in his tracks. A group of bullies had surrounded him, their leader mocking him as a weakling. A sinister grin spread across the man's face, and Chu Mo recognized his rival, Joe Cheng. The lackeys taunted him about Chenzi, and Joe Cheng challenged him to the hunting trial. He grabbed Chu Mo by the collar, whispering a disgusting threat about his friend. Chu Mo's eyes blazed with fury. He was asking for death. Joe Cheng just laughed at his anger, challenging him to face him in the trial. Chu Mo realized this was a death threat, and knew he needed a level 3 beast to win. But the market only had low-level creatures, leaving him searching for another solution. When a crowd announced a squad had returned, the crowd gawked at the massive beast on display. The legendary Wind Chasers squad stood before him, their captain boasting about his master rank, and Chu Mo wished he could join them, but his system locked onto the beast. It was the perfect target for his absorption. The hunters let the crowd touch the creature, giving Chu Mo the perfect opportunity. He moved in, activating his collection skill, pulling a glowing orb of energy from its body. He concealed the essence and slipped away while the crowd remained completely oblivious. The system confirmed he had a physique, and with a triumphant grin, he headed off back in his training room. He prepared, holding the essence, anticipating a power boost. He crushed the orb, beginning the absorption, and the agony was immediate and overwhelming. It felt like every bone in his body was shattering, a scream of pure, unadulterated pain. But then a warm energy spread from his heart, repairing his damaged bones and meridians, and reinforcing his entire skeletal structure. He understood this process of breaking and reforming was the key. His complete transformation. His eyes crackled with newfound power, his body feeling impossibly fast and light as raw energy coursed through his veins. He unleashed a powerful practice strike, shattering the training dummy. Instantly, he laughed, feeling the incredible surge, realizing his new physique was a game-changer. The system confirmed his combat values, his base strength soaring by 500 Jin. And his thoughts turned to the hunting trial, vowing to kill Joe Cheng before he got the chance. The day of the trial arrived at the academy where Joe Cheng was being praised by his cronies. But then they spotted Chu Mo arriving, and Joe Cheng turned to face his rival. The crowd whispered about Chu Mo's lack of talent, but he ignored their taunts completely as one of Joe Cheng's lackeys called him out, and Joe Cheng mocked him for even showing up. Just then, military vehicles pulled into the courtyard, forcing Joe Cheng to back off for the moment, but not before giving him a final chilling threat. A teacher ordered all the students to assemble, and they began boarding the transport vehicles where their destination was the dangerous wilderness. A teacher explained the hunting grounds, assuring them the area was now safe. The students looked on, swallowing their fear. The rules were announced: a point-based hunt, with level 2 beast blood for the runners-up, and a rare martial skill for the winner. The crowd whispered certain Joe Cheng would win. They were given talismans for emergencies, and told the trial would last for 5 days. Joe Cheng arrogantly dismissed his followers, while Chu Mo knew this was a fight to the death, and the perfect chance to eliminate his rival. The vehicles arrived in the vast wilderness, and the teacher announced the time had come. Joe Cheng and the other top students prepared, sprinting into the forest. As the trial began, the teachers watched, confident in Joe Cheng's victory. They turned to Chu Mo, warning him of the odds, but he just smiled, ready to prove them wrong. His confidence surprised them. He seemed different. Chu Mo entered the forest alone, aware of the risks, deciding to test his new skills on a beast when a ferocious creature appeared from the shadows. His eyes narrowed, ready for a fight, and he launched himself into a powerful attack. The creature was a level 1 iron spine hound, and Chu Mo faced it, energy crackling in his hand. The beast was fast, but had low endurance. But Chu Mo wasn't planning a long fight. He unleashed a single devastating energy blast. His new power was overwhelming for the hound, so he decided to collect its blood the old way. But the scent of battle drew in more predators, and a pack of beasts lunged from the shadows. Chu Mo just grinned, seeing a perfect chance. Vowing to use them all to sharpen his skills, he dove into the fray with blinding speed, the sounds of combat echoing through the trees. One by one, the beasts fell before him, and he was soon collecting blood from his 7th kill. He had gathered 5 full portions of beast blood, and decided to absorb it on the spot. The power surged through him once again, when a sudden cry for help pierced the silence. A terrified student was running from a giant bear, screaming for anyone to save him. The beast's massive paws down. But Chu Mo recognized a rare opportunity. The student offered to share a valuable treasure with this new prize in mind. Victory was his. Chu Mo stood ready, a hunter of monstrous beasts. The giant bear roared, its eyes burning with fury, and it smashed the student aside with one blow. Chu Mo arrived just in time to see his classmate fall. He glared at the beast, furious at the attack. With a cry of rage, he charged forward to slay it. He knew he couldn't match its raw power, so he dodged and struck with his electric blade. The knife sank into the creature's thick hide, and he channeled his talent into the attack. Purple energy surged through the beast's body. But the attack only made the bear angrier. He realized the pain sent it into a berserk state. The enraged creature loomed over him, knowing he was too slow to dodge the blow. Its massive paw slammed down, shattering the ground. Chu Mo was thrown back, barely escaping. The beast was now faster and stronger than before, and it was already preparing another attack. He was sent flying by the overwhelming force. Realizing this wasn't working, he needed a new plan. He decided to aim for its most vulnerable spot, the eyes. He leaped through the air, electricity crackling. The bear recoiled in pain, giving him an opening. He grabbed onto its head, vowing to restrain it. The bear let out a deafening roar of pain as Chumo poured all his energy into its head. But the beast thrashed with incredible force, sending our boy flying through the air. He coughed up blood, his body giving out, and he fell back, losing consciousness, believing this was the end of the road for him. His final thoughts were filled with regret when a new power suddenly awakened within him. He recognized the feeling instantly. It was the enraged beast's blood he had absorbed. He got back on his feet. The fight wasn't over. The bear charged, smashing the ground once more. But Chumo easily leaped over the shockwave, fueled by a new rage. He prepared his counter, screaming as he unleashed a final devastating blow. His fist connected, sending lightning through its skull. The forest fell silent as the battle concluded. Chumo stood over his foe, victorious. But battered, he admitted he would have died without that power-up. Realizing his biggest weakness was his lack of speed. He thought a wind attribute talent would change everything when he suddenly sensed a powerful killing intent. He looked up to see his rival watching him, and Joe Chi appeared before him in an instant. Chu Mo was stunned. His rival had a wind talent. He mocked Chu Mo, assuming he was a scavenger, gloating that he had finally found his target. He planned to frame Chu Mo for the student's death, then asked if his twisted story was believable. Chu Mo listened in silence, his expression grim as Joe Chi taunted him about Chenzi. Chu Mo looked up, simply agreeing with him. His rival scoffed, expecting him to beg, but Chu Mo clarified his meaning. He had to send Joe Chi to hell himself. He unleashed a torrent of purple lightning, shocking Joe Chi, who saw his hidden power. But Joe Chi was fast, dodging the bolts, and Chu Mo saw the wind attribute speed he coveted. Joe Chi unleashed a flurry of wind blades, and Chu Mo knew he was too slow to dodge. So he unleashed his own electric blast to counter the lightning, piercing right through the wind blades. He was forced to leap away, using his speed, weaving through the trees with incredible agility. He landed on a branch, stunned by Chu Mo's power, wondering how the school's trash could be so strong. Chu Mo stated that appearances can be deceiving, then unleashed a new, precisely controlled attack. Joe Chi was shocked by his level of control, but he scoffed, boasting that his speed was unbeatable as Chu Mo guided the energy orbs like missiles. Joe Chi closed the distance, ready to strike, and landed a clean hit across Chu Mo's chest. He laughed maniacally, unleashing a storm of blades, forcing Chu Mo to defend against the assault. He realized Joe Chi's speed was the key, and to kill him he had to get close, which meant his movements could be predicted. Chu Mo began to analyze his rival's attack pattern, mapping out his movements and timing, then aimed where he would appear next. He unleashed a concentrated blast of lightning, and Joe Chi materialized directly in its path. His eyes wide with disbelief and terror, the attack connected, sending him flying backward, leaving a smoldering hole through his chest. Chu Mo caught his breath. The gamble paid off. While his rival couldn't believe he was beaten, he stared in utter disbelief at his defeat. As Chu Mo calmly approached to finish the job, Joe Chi asked if he was really going to be killed, then tried to use his powerful father as a threat. But when that failed, he desperately begged for mercy. With his patience completely gone, he raised his electric knife for the final blow. When a system prompt suddenly appeared, he looked down at his defeated rival and declared he would take his wind talent, closing his eyes to absorb the new energy, his eyes snapping open with a green glow. He tested his new speed, becoming a blur, amazed by the incredible velocity he now had, zipping through the trees with newfound agility, feeling one with the wind as his speed tripled, while his control also improved dramatically. He ricocheted off the trees and canyon walls, leaping and landing with absolute precision. Marveling at the power of the wind attribute, then realized he also absorbed a martial art. This system was more powerful than he thought, as a bronze-ranked art was just the beginning. He recalled the 3 layers of the blade, imagining the power he would wield at the end. Just then another system prompt appeared, detecting special items available to collect. He looked at Joe Chi's body and accepted, and the system rewarded him with a treasure map. He couldn't believe the system gave him a map, and he was determined to uncover its secrets. As a massive golden landscape materialized, it pointed toward an earth dragon lair, home to a legendary spirit essence. But he remembered Joe Chi's powerful family and decided to loot the body before leaving. First, he found the elemental spirit beehive, collecting the precious nectar dripping from it, carefully gathering every last drop, though it was only enough to last 10 days. He laid out all his spoils from the battles, noticing a strange bag made from beast hide. He recalled Joe Chi pulling a blade from nowhere, and decided to infuse the bag with his chi. It erupted with a brilliant blue light, revealing a massive space filled with treasure. It was a storage bag, a luxury he never had, and inside were hundreds of elemental stones, so he eagerly claimed his new fortune. This bag glowed, sealing its contents inside, and he knew he must keep this treasure hidden. Now he decided to test the spirit bee nectar, and a warm energy spread through his body. Unlike the beast blood, this power was soothing, mending his wounds and restoring his strength. Chumo meditated, absorbing the nectar's energy, feeling its warmth spread through his being as the potent essence refined his body, and his eyes opened, glowing with a new blue light. This power had settled a visible change in him, and he realized the nectar sped up his absorption, deciding to power up before the dragon's lair. He followed the system's directions through the trees, spotting the entrance to the lair far below. He arrived at a cave that was already searched, but he ventured deep inside, following his system. When a sudden alert directed him to the wall, he cautiously reached out, sensing something hidden, discovering a barrier his system could bypass. He pushed right through, shattering the illusion, and found the true prize hidden in the cave. It was the legendary 10,000-year spirit essence. A smaller orb floated down, a byproduct, and he decided to store this spirit for later. He recalled a text that said to soak in it, an opportunity he simply could not pass up, so he stripped down and dove right in. But the feeling was strange, heavy with sorrow. Like the life and death of ancient beasts, their powerful fighting spirits pouring into him. He felt the heavy, endless energy of the beasts, and his eyes snapped open, glowing a fierce blue. With a mighty roar, he slammed his hand down, launching himself out of the spirit essence. He landed, confused by the green energy around him. This wind attribute had fully integrated now, and a system prompt confirmed his new talents. This essence upgraded him more than blood ever could, and knowing it only worked once he collected some. Determined to level up before the trial ended. 3 days later, the trial concluded at the forest edge. Students lined up to register their scores, turning in all the spoils from their hunt. One student boasted about his 67 points, but everyone assumed Joe Chi would be champion when Chumo calmly emerged from the wilderness. He approached the table with a cold, steady gaze and placed his bag down to be scored. He emptied its contents, a massive pile of parts, leaving the head teacher utterly stunned. His final tally was 103 points, and the crowd erupted. Just then, the teacher declared the trial was over. The students realized Joe Chi never returned, and the teacher asked Chumo if he saw him, but he denied it. This teacher glared, demanding to know where he got it all. Chumo stared back, claiming he hunted it himself. Another teacher calmed the head teacher down, saying it was impossible for him to kill Joe Chi. He reluctantly declared Chumo the winner. This teacher ordered everyone to evacuate, but he stopped Chumo before he boarded the truck. He warned him the Joe family would be suspicious, advising him to lay low after getting his reward. Meanwhile, at the Joe family's mansion, the family patriarch learned of his son's death. A subordinate confirmed the terrible news, mentioning the winner was a cripple who argued with him. This patriarch's rage completely exploded, and he smashed his pet tiger into the ground. He suspected foul play, believing if Chumo was involved, then the secret treasure his son was after is now his. Back at Chumo's apartment building, a woman with purple hair arrived home. She looked around, wondering where Chumo was, noticing the food he left, finding it odd. She decided to train for a competition when she noticed something strange on the equipment, an electrical burn she simply couldn't explain. Meanwhile, in an abandoned part of the city, Chumo was checking his own power levels. He concentrated his energy into his feet, practicing a new lightning-fast technique. But his control was not yet perfect, and he stumbled, nearly losing his balance. He knew this required immense body control, but his thunder attribute gave him an edge. With a burst of speed, he left a crater behind, mastering the bronze-level Ghost Steps technique. He planned to combine it with his teleportation, practicing the move over and over again. Exhausted, he decided to call it a night. But his senses suddenly flared with alarm as an old man appeared in a blur of motion. This man introduced himself as Ki Nyan, but Chumo dismissed him and tried to leave. Ki Nyan warned him his master was Joe Cheng, and Chumo realized it was Joe Chi's father. He told the man to send his master in person, but the man lunged, vowing to capture him. He reached out to grab Chumo, who phased through him. Using his new ghost steps, he appeared behind him, and Ki Nyan's eyes widened, recognizing the blade. It was Joe Chi's sword, confirming his suspicions. Chumo dashed away, leaving an afterimage, leaping onto a structure with impossible speed. Ki Nyan recoiled, recognizing the blade technique, and Chumo smirked, unleashing the breaking blade. This old man dismissed it, countering with fire, demanding to know what happened to the master. Chumo told him he could ask Joe Chi in the afterlife, and Ki Nyan couldn't believe his wind was stronger. Their powers clashed in a massive explosion, but Chumo knew his superior talents gave him an edge. Ki Nyan was overwhelmed by the relentless slashes, but he spotted a flaw in the attack pattern and lunged through the opening for a killing blow. But Chumo was waiting, his body crackling, grabbing the old man's face with a thunderous grip. He unleashed a massive bolt of purple lightning, illuminating the entire abandoned district. Ki Nyan lay defeated inside a deep crater. Chumo knew his strength had grown immensely, but he was now a target for the powerful Joe Cheng. He realized he must reach the master level, quickly deciding to push his limits in the wilderness. He headed to the martial arts supply hall, a place to gear up before any hunt. He needed to find a single store for his supplies and arrived at the prestigious Jade House. A clerk greeted him as he asked for some advice. This clerk showcased a full range of survival kits, and Chumo asked about the luxury set when his attention was drawn to a commotion, a young girl desperately seeking help. Chumo overheard the cure she needed was at his destination and decided to approach the desperate girl. She looked up in disbelief, asking if he'd accept, and he agreed, telling her to wait for good news. The crowd outside watched them leave skeptical, while inside two women watched from a distance, an attendant noting his good heart for the task. And the woman in green seemed to agree. 2 days later, Chu Mo arrived at Dashu Mountain. This area was a relatively safe training ground and a prime spot for martial artists to hunt. He'd been training against iron mantises all day, and his new talent had boosted his strength. His techniques were on the verge of a breakthrough, phasing right through the mantis's attack. He reappeared behind it, crackling with lightning, ready to hunt the python after his breakthrough. Meanwhile, back at Liang First Academy, students noticed a group of powerful newcomers. The dean Shen Jin stepped forward to announce this year's trial would be a joint event. The students were shocked by the two-city trial as the dean explained the dangers of the mountain, but the rewards for the top 10 were generous. The academy's elite students set their sights on it, and the purple-haired woman vowed to win the heart. Just then a commotion erupted in the courtyard as a red-haired warrior mocked their weakness. His lackeys praised him as their base's strongest, and the lying students furiously shouted back. This red-haired warrior Su Guang just smirked and launched a sudden attack on the students, the force of his strike kicking up a dust cloud. But the purple-haired woman intercepted his blade, and he grinned, intrigued by her strength. A teacher quickly intervened, ordering them to stop, but Su Guang promised he'd see her on the mountain. 3 days later, a rumbling sound echoed where Chu Mo stood exhausted, surrounded by monsters. He clutched a potion, feeling a power build. As golden lightning crackled through his body, the sign of a breakthrough as more beasts emerged. He felt a surge of power he could barely contain, and with a wild grin he challenged them again. He unleashed a torrent of pure purple lightning, striking the mountain with a devastating blast. The dust settled around Chu Mo, revealing fallen beasts as he felt his body cleansed of all impurities, and a system window confirmed his power boost. He was officially a martial artist, strong enough now, and he was no longer afraid of the powerful Joe Cheng. But first he had one more task to complete as glowing red eyes emerged from the darkness, drawn by the energy of his breakthrough. The legendary two-headed python revealed itself, its aura far stronger than he had expected. One head lunged forward, spitting dark energy, and Chu Mo barely dodged the venomous blast. But the second head struck from the side, forcing him to leap back to avoid its fangs. He landed, recognizing the familiar scent of poison, realizing this gas was designed to paralyze. He activated his ghost steps, creating afterimages. But the python was impossibly fast, tearing his clothes, its coordinated attacks smashing the ground. He knew he couldn't outrun it, risking it all, channeling his energy into a single decisive strike. He slammed into the beast's head with incredible force, leaving the python dazed and confused. A voice taunted it from the shadows as Chu Mo reappeared above, sword glowing. The python's heads unleashed a torrent of venom, but his ghost steps had reached a new level, making him almost impossible for it to track. He leaped into the air, his sword poised for the kill, and with a single clean strike he severed one of the python's heads completely. He caught his breath, thankful for his breakthrough. He began harvesting the spoils of his victory, knowing this single hunt was incredibly valuable. As he prepared to leave, a cry for help echoed, a desperate plea from somewhere nearby. He found a young girl fleeing from two beasts, and in a flash he dove in to protect her. She stared in disbelief as her savior appeared, a lone warrior standing against the wolves. She recognized him, calling him by his name, and he recognized her too, from the elite class. A sudden realization dawned on her face, and she grabbed him, saying Chenzi was in danger. Her grip was tight with panic, and his expression darkened as he demanded answers. She was stunned by his power, unable to believe it, but he misread her shock, thinking he scared her. He apologized, gently asking again what happened. She explained the joint trial, the wolf attack, and how Chenzi was now facing Su Guang alone. Chu Mo recognized the name Su Guang, and the girl explained how she stayed behind to save them, desperately begging him to save her. He tossed her a potion, telling her to find the others, and in a flash of blue light he was gone, leaving her with an overwhelming sense of hope. Meanwhile, Chenzi stood alone against Su Guang, her comrades defeated and her body covered in wounds. He taunted her, offering her a future by his side, but she furiously called him a coward for his tactics. He just threw his head back and laughed, then lunged forward with a crazed grin, forcing her to brace for the incoming assault. His eyes narrowed, tired of her resistance, and their powers collided in a flash of red light. He roared, promising to show her the gap between them, but she met his attack with everything she had. His massive blade cleaved through her defense, sending her hurtling through the air, crashing to the ground, battered and exhausted. He loomed over her, giving her one last chance, but her defiant glare was his only answer. He boasted that no one had ever refused him, and in her eyes she saw her own defeat, closing them as he prepared the final blow. But just as he moved, a voice roared, "Stop," as Chu Mo crashed down, his blade intercepting. Su Guang dug his heels and, struggling against the force, getting pushed back against the cliffside. He couldn't believe the speed, the sheer power, demanding to know who could overpower him. Behind Chu Mo, a phantom dragon roared as he said, "You talk too much." Chenzi looked up, the voice sounding familiar, and she stared at the back of her mysterious savior. Enraged, Su Guang unleashed his ice powers, vowing to kill him, but Chu Mo calmly analyzed his dual attributes. With Chenzi behind him, he knew he couldn't dodge, so he prepared to meet the attack head-on. Their icy powers collided in a massive explosion, but a stray shard of ice flew right for her, and Chu Mo snatched it from the air, calling her name. Su Guang screamed in fury, launching another attack, but Chu Mo, now crackling with lightning, blocked it. This bully was stunned, unable to comprehend the power gap. His eyes wide with terror at the purple energy. Chumo knew the truth. With his system, nothing was impossible. The sound of a final swift strike echoed, and Chumo stood victorious over his opponent. He quickly looted the body, finding a storage bag, and discovered a trove of stones and materials. He decided to give Chenzi all the spoils, then absorbed the talents from Su Guang's body, gaining an advanced saber talent from the system. He immediately put his new skills to the test, feeling the blade come alive in his hands. A rustle in the trees caught his attention, and he leaped down to ambush a nearby beast. He stood over his kill, analyzing his new powers, realizing Su Guang also had silver-level arts. With these new abilities, he knew he could grow stronger, and a system check confirmed his massive power increase. His stats now showed multiple advanced talents. After a month of intense training, his sword was broken, and he decided it was finally time to return. He arrived back at the martial arts supply hall, where a young girl had been waiting patiently. She suddenly looked up, a flicker of hope in her eyes, but the onlookers told her it wasn't who she thought. A man taunted her, saying her hero must be dead, and for a moment she almost lost her faith. But then a new arrival stepped through the door. The crowd gasped in disbelief. He was actually back. This girl looked up at the newcomer as Chumo held out a container, fulfilling his promise. He smiled, confirming he had the python's heart. She looked up with tears in her eyes, unable to believe it. He gently handed her the container, saying it was his pleasure, and she stared at the glowing heart in her hands. A man stepped in, taking the vial to inspect it, confirming it was a high-level heart. Her mother was saved. This girl gratefully presented him with his reward, a wooden box containing a large scaled egg. As he turned to leave, she called out for him to wait, and he looked back, asking what was wrong. She explained the egg was useless, unhatched for a decade, but he just gave a small, knowing smile, simply saying he wanted to help before he left. The crowd buzzed, realizing he must be a powerful artist. A fiery vision flashed, a reminder that trust is a luxury. This man couldn't believe someone so selfless still exists, and the girl was moved to tears by his simple kindness. Meanwhile, Chumo planned his next move to sell and buy. He headed for the Jade House, the biggest store in the hall. A clerk greeted him, recognizing his new advancement. He was surprised she could tell his level so easily, realizing even the staff here were powerful warriors. He told her he was here to sell parts and buy supplies, and she led him to meet the store's appraiser. Chumo laid out his haul of bones and materials. This old appraiser was stunned by the quality and quantity, recognizing the young man's incredible potential. This appraiser quoted a staggering price for the materials, and Chumo agreed, asking to buy a new sword. This old man proudly presented him with a sales list, but Chumo was shocked by the incredibly high prices, forcing him to choose only the most essential items. The total came out higher than his earnings, but just then the clerk from before interrupted. She whispered something into the appraiser's ear, and his expression immediately changed, inviting Chumo upstairs to meet the director. Wary but curious, Chumo agreed to follow, and the clerk led him into an ornate private room. Inside, two women were waiting for him, and the older attendant invited him to sit. Chumo spotted a pin on her robe, a level 3 artist, which meant the woman she served was no mere director. She introduced herself as Mo Shanshan of the Jade Alliance, and Chumo was on guard. She already knew his name. She offered him a spot in their alliance, leaving him completely stunned by the proposition. She explained she saw his kindness to the girl and knew he was far stronger than his reputation. She reassured him, saying everyone has secrets, then declared him a genius in every way. Her attendant clapped, adding they're always looking for talent. This attendant presents a powerful sword forged from a beast, and Chumo thanks her for the high praise, but he politely declines, preferring his freedom. Mo Shanshan isn't surprised by his rejection, instead offering him a consultant role with monthly pay and discounts. She asks him what he thinks of this new deal, and Chumo realizes this is how they collect talent, a clever strategy with very tempting benefits. As a gift, she offers him his purchases for free, and he takes the sword, testing her confidence. She just smiles, certain he'll make the right choice. Impressed by her generosity, Chumo accepts the position. They watch from above as he walks away, and the attendant questions her generous offer. Suddenly, the old woman has a realization. Mo Shanshan reveals one of her dual talents, a familiar aura she sensed the moment he arrived. Meanwhile, at the Liang Base College Square, this trial results are in, and the crowd is stunned, calling for the winner Chenzi to claim her prize. She knows her victory is thanks to her mysterious savior. But her friend snaps her out of her thoughts. This dean calls for her to step onto the stage, and she slowly walks toward the platform. He presents her with a massive reward, including personal training. Chenzi feels a pang of disappointment while Chumo tests his new skills in an abandoned city, facing down insectoid beasts amidst a field of ice. He stands ready, his new sword in hand, his eyes locked on an unseen enemy, then leaps into the air to dodge a massive worm monster. He unleashes a powerful ice-based attack, sending a wave of frozen energy at the beast, which is instantly impaled on giant ice shards. He declares his sky-splitting blade complete, unleashing a massive horizontal slash of energy which tears through the battlefield, carving a perfect circle through a solid wall. He feels his power has doubled with this new technique, but senses there's still untapped potential in his swordsmanship, realizing his body isn't tempered enough to handle it. A golden aura surrounds his hand, and he resolves to focus on body forging training. His new regimen begins with powerful punches followed by relentless sword practice and deep meditation to hone his inner power. Half a month later, the training's effects begin to show as a strange sensation runs through him, a burning pain that starts deep in his bones. He watches as impurities are expelled from his skin, a sign of his body's transformation. He realizes his cultivation speed has skyrocketed but knows it's too slow. The Joe family is watching, and meanwhile at the Joe family villa, a messenger bird arrives with news. Reporting they've finally found Chumo, this subordinate reveals he's been training outside the city, and the old man realizes Chumo is preparing for a fight. He scoffs, crushing the messenger bird in his hand, ordering his men to watch for the next opportunity. He vows to kill the boy himself. Back at Chumo's apartment, he remembers the Jade Alliance's offer, a training center. He walks inside, finding Chenzi about to leave, and she asks where he's headed. He explains he'll be tremor. Suddenly, the man's eyes widen in shock. This entire martial arts building begins to collapse, torn apart by an unseen force from within. Jade Alliance guards rush to the scene surrounding Chu Mo amidst the rubble. But Mo Shanshan arrives, recognizing him instantly. She asks if he's mastered the swordsmanship realm, leaving Chu Mo completely baffled by the question. She realizes he's a self-taught prodigy, a true genius. She explains the three realms of swordsmanship, and Chu Mo connects her words to his own progress. He apologizes for destroying the building, but she just laughs, saying it was worth the price. This guards watch in awe of his power, and Chu Mo thanks her before taking his leave. He considers her advice about needing real combat. But as he walks down an alley, he senses eyes on him, two men in suits tailing him from the shadows. This man in the suit panics, losing sight of his target, but Chu Mo appears behind them, sword crackling with energy, and the man realizes he's in deep trouble. He lets out a cry of pure terror as Chu Mo strikes with blinding speed. He grabs the other man, demanding to know who sent him, and the tea is brewing. Two guards discuss their master's cold demeanor when a dark shadow suddenly looms behind one of them. This other guard just wants his shift to end early, but turns to find his partner gone and a new threat waiting. A bolt of violent energy flashes through the night while another guard on the steps wonders about the commotion. He calls out, announcing it's time to change shifts, only to find his comrades have already been taken down. He stands frozen in shock over their bodies, then feels a cold blade at his neck. His eyes widening in fear as he demands to know who's there. Inside, the Joe family head sits alone in his lavish room, growing impatient for his men to report back. He hears a noise and angrily calls out, then storms toward the door when no one answers, eyes glowing with rage. He tears his shirt, revealing his true power, unleashing his ultimate technique, the 10,000 blades. A vortex of swords surrounds him, but Chu Mo sees an opportunity, and Joe Cheng is baffled that the kid isn't even trying to run. Confident his attack is absolutely unbeatable, Chu Mo stands firm in a storm of lightning, his swordsmanship realm. Chu Mo leaps forward, cutting through the vortex as a single perfect slash heads for the old man, shattering the 10,000 blades technique completely. Joe Cheng falls utterly defeated, and the reign of the Joe family ends in the rain. This next day, investigators arrive at the villa where the law enforcement captain examines the scene in shock. His subordinate reports a chilling fact: every victim was killed by an impossibly powerful swordsman. That night, back in his apartment, Chu Mo takes stock of his spoils from the raid, claiming a decade of Joe Cheng's wealth for himself, when a small box tumbles out of a sack, reminding him of one last treasure. He opens it to find the mysterious breathing egg, and decides to try and force it to hatch using his blood, his vitality, everything he has, even blasting it with his raw thunder talent. But the effort leaves him completely drained, and he realizes this egg is no ordinary beast. He decides to focus on his own power, instead holding the wind spirit fruit as a new chapter begins over the sleeping city. A three-clawed eagle soars through the night sky when it's suddenly struck from above by Chu Mo, who plummets through the air wreathed in wind. He smirks, having finally surpassed the speed of sound, and a system window confirms his new attributes. His wind talent now upgraded to the bronze level. He lands softly on a rooftop as the beast falls behind him. But he can't stop now, using the momentum to begin body forging, mobilizing all the chi and blood in his body, his eyes narrowing with intense focus. He lets out a roar as energy erupts from within, blasting a massive pillar of light into the night sky. In the aftermath, he assesses his new strength, ready for the next stage, blood refining. He wonders if the Jade House has an elixir to speed up the process. And the next day, a voice at the Jade House cries out in shock at his progress. This woman in green can't believe how much stronger he's gotten, but Chu Mo just says he's been training hard and needs an elixir. She smiles, offering him a task with a very special reward, and he correctly guesses it's part of his consultant duties. She needs him to escort a treasure from a distant base, but Chu Mo knows the journey is far too dangerous to go alone. She assures him martial arts masters will lead the way, offering a rare reward, this jade liquid from a one-horned rhinoceros, which can boost his training tenfold. Chu Mo accepts the mission, knowing it must be incredibly dangerous, but he is determined to get that elixir. 5 days later, Chu Mo arrives at the lying base, sizing up the powerful escort team for his mission. This woman in green from the Jade House spots him and waves him over to the group. He greets her and she says they've just arrived too. But their conversation is cut short by a new arrival, Zhang Xuan, the manager of the local Jade House. She explains he's a rare dual-attribute martial artist, and the manager immediately gets too familiar with her, warning her not to be fooled by just anyone claiming to be a consultant. Chumo immediately senses the man's hostility. A sharp clap calls for everyone's attention as the mission leader Kyan Yuan introduces himself. He lays down the strict rules for the long journey ahead, and Chu Mo notes the leader's experience. Kyan Yuan then asks everyone to introduce themselves, and the team members state their names and skills. Zhang Xuan proudly announces his rare dual-attribute talent, then turns to Chu Mo demanding to know his qualifications. Chu Mo simply states he's a mid-stage martial artist, which earns him scorn from the other members, and Zhang Xuan says he'll be nothing but a burden. This woman in green defends him, saying he's fully qualified, but Zhang Xuan just smirks, telling Chu Mo she's been deceived. Chu Mo's eyes narrow, demanding to know what he means. Zhang Xuan issues a challenge for his consultant role, and Chu Mo accepts his thunder talent, flaring to life. This two face off in a clearing as the team watches on. This others are certain Zhang Xuan's blade light realm is unbeatable, and the leader promises the woman in green he'll keep Chu Mo safe, but she just smiles, knowing Chu Mo has already mastered the swordsmanship realm. Zhang Xuan begins his attack, promising a clean fight, leaping forward to punish the boy's arrogance. Chu Mo easily sidesteps the glowing sword aura, which leaves Zhang Xuan momentarily stunned. This onlookers are baffled by his sudden stop, but Zhang Xuan grins, revealing his hidden crippling technique. He launches the attack again, screaming for victory, but this time Chu Mo's hand crackles with lightning. He reaches out and catches the blade with his bare hand, his grip tightening as lightning arcs across the steel. Zhang Xuan can only watch in horror as his sword aura shatters. With a single word, Chu Mo unleashes his power and the sword explodes in a blast of purple energy. This mission leader is speechless. He broke the blade with his hands, and Zhang Xuan stares in terror at his broken weapon. Chu Mo smirks, asking if he understands his confidence now, and Zhang Xuan can only stare in utter disbelief. He unleashes his power, declaring this is who he is, and sends his rival flying with a devastating blow. This arrogant martial artist hits the dirt, completely broken. This entire team watches in stunned silence as the leader confirms Zhang Xuan is alive but crippled for life. This others finally understand Chu Mo's true power, and the woman in green declares the matter settled. 4 days later, the team travels through a dense forest with their mission leader Kyan Yuan keeping a watchful eye. He lays down the strict rules for their night camp, and the one-eyed woman praises his expert leadership. Another member agrees, giving a commonly targeted, and he too is killed by the invisible force. This one-eyed woman shouts she saw a white shadow, and Chu Mo's eyes narrow in concentration. He hurls himself out of the way of an attack as a strange lightning-wreathed beast appears behind him. This leader identifies it with dread, a blank weasel. This creature teleports around them in a blur of purple energy. Its attacks too fast. A man named Lao Sun rushes forward, apologizing for the delay. Kyan Yuan asks why only 3 people came to meet them. But the man looks nervous, avoiding the question. He quickly suggests they all rest at the Jade House Hotel, saying he and Kyan Yuan will handle the treasure handover alone. This leader agrees, sending the others off to rest. But Chu Mo realizes Lao Sun is hiding something important. Later, in the privacy of his room, Chu Mo examines the blank weasel's corpse, deciding to absorb its unique spatial abilities. This system confirms he's acquired a space talent, and he immediately chooses to fuse it with his own power. A new skill activates, space perception talent. His vision transforms, seeing the world as a grid, perceiving every detail with incredible clarity. He can sense everything in a 50-meter radius and decides to test the weasel's teleportation ability. He activates space transfer, opening a rift below him, and instantly appears in a tree, grabbing a startled bird. This test is a success, a perfect offensive and defensive skill. His teammates call up asking what he's doing, and Chu Mo gracefully leaps down to meet them. Kyan Yuan confirms their business is done, proudly introducing Chu Mo as a genius counselor. Lao Sun is amazed by his rank at such a young age, but Chu Mo cuts in, asking why the base is so empty. Lao Sun sweats, admitting he hid the truth to avoid panic, when a sudden tremor rocks the entire city. A massive beast erupts from the ground, sending people fleeing, and Chu Mo realizes it's a level 3 thornback dragon. This monster lets out a terrifying roar, its shadow falling over a little girl left behind in the chaos. Chu Mo sees the child is in mortal danger and leaps between her and the creature's attack. His landing sends a shockwave that stuns the beast, and he asks Kyan Yuan to protect the girl. With the child safe, he declares he'll handle this, as Lao Sun worries he's no match for the dragon. But Kyan Yuan knows Chu Mo is no ordinary artist as the beast swings its massive spiked tail. Chu Mo activates his ghost steps to dodge the tail, vaulting high over the creature's spiked back, leaving an afterimage to confuse the beast. And the dragon roars its attack, hitting empty air. He lands gracefully on its spine, sword ready, as his allies scream for him to be careful. This beast thrashes, forcing him to grab on for dear life, creating multiple afterimages to disorient it further. He leaps from its back, gaining distance, and the dragon looks up, searching for its target. Chu Mo's eyes burn with fierce determination as the monster lets out another furious roar. He dives from above, blade crackling, with lightning plunging his sword deep into the creature's skull. He puts all his strength into the final blow, unleashing a devastating surge of purple energy, and the thornback dragon falls defeated. Chumo demands to know how this happened and Lao Sun admits the beasts have grown more active with 5 of their 6 grandmasters sent to investigate. Now their manpower is cut in half, leaving them vulnerable. Kyan Yuan offers his help to solve this crisis, but Chumo senses something deeper is wrong, realizing the situation is far worse than it seems. Just then more guards arrive, relieved the threat is gone. A guard rushes over thanking Lao Sun for the kill, but Lao Sun quickly gives the credit to Chumo. This guard turns, offering his sincere thanks to our boy when he gets a call on his headset and summons them to meet the guard captain. They're led to the impressive Changfeng Base Center. This guard explains the captain is a grandmaster and ushers them through a brightly lit doorway. Chumo takes a single step inside, and his eyes widen in shock as the room is plunged into total darkness. He immediately activates his space perception, revealing a volley of energy arrows flying toward him. One of the projectiles zips past his face, but he senses no killing aura behind the attack. A mysterious voice compliments his sharp instincts, and his perception locates a figure sitting in the distance. Chumo channels his spatial power, shocking his unseen opponent with his own unique talent. He leaps through the gridded space, sword held high, bringing his blade down on the target, only to find the room is empty as the lights return. A slow, deliberate clap breaks the silence. Revealer. This captain explains she was testing his skills and now wants to recruit him for the guard team. Chumo politely refuses, saying they must return home. Kyan Yuan explains their treasure has a strict deadline, and the captain's eyes widen with sudden understanding. She offers him a new deal, an external defense expert. But Chumo agrees to help as an ally, not for pay. She salutes, pleased with their new cooperation. After their business is concluded, the team departs. This captain compliments Lao Sun for finding such a genius, but her expression suddenly darkens as she turns to him, ready to talk business. This team finally arrives at the west gate of Liang Base, and Kyan Yuan hands over the precious cargo. This woman, receiving it, sighs in relief, the mission complete. She offers the escorts rewards and a place to rest, but asks Chumo to wait for a moment. They move to a private car parked in the forest, where she praises him for his incredible deeds. Chumo deflects the flattery with a smile as she asks if he knows what the secret treasure is. He looks at her, his curiosity piqued. She opens the box, revealing the Manhwa plate, a key to a secret realm. Back at Changfeng Base, Lao Sun denies knowing anything about the plate, insisting the treasure was a time-sensitive elixir for a life-saving mission. But the guard captain sees right through his act, revealing they detected an energy fluctuation at the secret realm's connecting point, and she knows the Merchant Alliance is after a time-limited treasure there. She offers Lao Sun a deal to let 2 of her people into the realm, promising a 5% tax reduction on all future business. Elsewhere, mysterious cloaked figures watch the deal unfold through a mirror, their sights set on the Manhwa secret realm. A close-up shows their strange glowing emblem. 10 days later, Chumo stands outside his house holding a small sharp blade to his finger. He makes a small cut, drawing blood, and a single drop falls from his fingertip. From that drop, he summons a swirling red energy, unleashing it in a powerful sweeping slash. This crimson beam tears through the air, smashing directly into the side of a building. He looks through the hole his attack just created, then clenches his fist, calling the power back. This red energy whips back toward his hand. His blood refining is complete thanks to a pill he received. This woman from Liang Base explains the secret realm's passage will open in a month, and formally invites Chumo to enter with her to find a special treasure. He knows he must grow stronger to survive the dangers ahead. His attack reveals a hidden stone box, and Chumo wonders why it was buried here. Inside, he finds pills, a dagger, and a letter sealed with a strange glowing blue orb. He has no memory of this box or its contents. He picks up a purple book, a diary. It belongs to his mother, who felt trapped by her limits, her research demanding ever stronger beasts. She worried about her son's weak constitution and went to hunt a level 7 beast to help him. He realizes they died hunting a legendary creature. He picks up the dagger, feeling its strange power, and 10 days later a group gathers on a cliff. This woman from Liang Base wonders where he is, as her companions from Changfeng Base doubt his skills. Just then a guard announces his arrival, and Chumo appears, his aura completely transformed. This woman in green notices his change immediately. Even the skeptical Soshana is taken aback by his presence, and the woman in green congratulates him on his advancement. He asks her to appraise the daggers he found. She identifies it as a rare weapon made from a level 4 beast, but Soshana still plans to test his strength inside the realm. Suddenly, Chumo senses an energy fluctuation, and a massive crystal portal appears in the sky. This woman in green announces it's time to enter the secret realm, holding the Manhwa plate towards the sky, and the portal swirls into a massive vortex. This entire team leaps into the swirling energy. They enter a new world, a hidden secret realm, this one known for its abundant resources. This teleportation is chaotic and violent, and Chumo lands hard, separated from the others. He activates his space perception to scan the area, discovering rare spiritual herbs all around him. He knows this rich energy means dangerous beasts lurk nearby. Just then, he spots a flare in the distance, this signal from his team they've gathered safely. Meanwhile, the others are already surrounded by beasts, a pack of vicious, snarling wolves. Their leader warns them to be careful of their numbers as the team engages the massive pack in a desperate battle. One of the guards is quickly overwhelmed while another fights back with his axe and shield. He grits his teeth determined to survive, but even he admits they're outnumbered. Their leader urges them to hold on until everyone arrives. When a beast lunges at her from behind, she turns in shock, caught completely off guard, just as a crystalline barrier appears, saving her life. Chumo arrives in a flash of power, sword ready, and the woman in green cries his name in relief. This guard celebrates his timely rescue, but one warns him of the overwhelming numbers. Chumo isn't worried, calling them mere level 2 beasts, and prepares to unleash his sword's true power. A crimson shockwave erupts from his blade, obliterating the entire wolf pack in an instant. Elsewhere in the realm, a storm rages over a dark peak as a strange energy vortex descends from the sky, drawing the attention of more powerful wolf-like creatures. A glowing eye snaps open, sensing a disturbance. A massive winged beast awakens, feeling the keys return. Back at the clearing, Chumo lands in the crater he created, his expression turning serious and thoughtful. He senses a dangerous instability in the realm's space as the guards stand stunned by his overwhelming power. This woman in green thanks him for saving their lives, and he asks if this is everyone who has gathered. She says only a few have arrived, +2 from Changfeng base, explaining they're just gathering resources and won't interfere. This danger forces a new plan: find the treasure now, and she offers him half. Chumo agrees. The realm feels deadly, questioning the risk, explaining he avoided details to prevent greed but now needs to know the stakes. She reveals the treasure shatters a martial artist's limits, massively increasing their power. Chumo declares the risk is absolutely worth it, urging the team to set off immediately for the treasure. This woman in green uses the Manhwa plate to find it, sending a beam of light across the realm. Far away, the massive winged beast on the peak takes notice, sensing the plate's aura and ordering its minions to retrieve the key. A winged humanoid creature leaps from the peak, taking to the sky as Chumo's team follows the plate's guidance through the woods. Suddenly, a guard is ambushed from the shadows, and Chumo spins around at the sound of the attack. This entire team draws their weapons on high alert. This woman in green shouts a warning about poison, just as a winged shadow dives straight for Chumo. He grits his teeth, ready for the fight, unleashing a powerful swing with his blade. But the attack glances off the beast's body, his powerful blade unable to even pierce its fur. This creature is a golden-winged poisonous fox, and they're surrounded by a whole pack of them. This winged beast swarm from the trees, their claws and fur deflecting every attack from the guards. She realizes these beasts are far stronger than typical level 2s, and Chumo hears a strange sound like a command. When a new creature erupts from the ground, snatching the Manhwa plate right from her grasp. This woman in green shouts for the plate back as a new winged creature lands on the pangolin's back. She realizes the beasts are working together, and Chumo leaps into action, refusing to let them escape. This winged beast roars, trying to intimidate him, but he lands in front of them, blocking their path. She yells that they're after the Manhwa plate, and Chumo knows something must be guiding them. He activates his space perception to find the source, and in his vision he finds his target. He locks on and prepares to teleport, activating space transfer in a flash of purple energy. He appears behind a winged wolf-like creature hiding in the trees, revealing a humanoid beast with glowing golden eyes. Chumo is stunned by its human-like form, but the creature is fast, blocking his blade with its bare hand. He leaps back, creating distance after the parry, realizing this beast is intelligent, at least level 5. This creature turns and takes to the sky, but Chumo won't let it get away that easily. He uses space transfer again to intercept it, unleashing a powerful lightning charge strike. He crashes down from above, pinning the beast, and channels his sword's power for a final blow. He drives his blade straight through the creature, ending the fight. Chumo realizes it took all his power to kill the beast as the woman in green rushes to his side, admitting they'd be helpless without him. He agrees they're unnatural, deciding to investigate its energy. But someone else reaches the body first. A shadowy attacker swings an axe from behind, and Chumo barely dodges the surprise assault. This attacker is a stranger in a wide hat wielding a massive axe. He lunges again, ignoring her shouts of protest, and Chumo senses his power is far greater than it seems. This two warriors clash in the clearing, realizing the stranger is after the dead beast's corpse. This axeman leaps forward for another powerful strike, but Chumo meets the blow with his own blade. He unleashes his lightning talent, doubling his power, and the surge of energy shatters the axe head. This stranger stares in disbelief as lightning arcs across his face. Chumo presses the attack with his electrified sword. This axeman's weapon lies broken on the ground, and he snarls, revealing sharp fangs. Chumo realizes this man isn't entirely human. Suddenly, the dead beast lunges at the woman in green, and she yells they're not from her group, urging him to stop them. Just then, 2 arrows fly through the air. Chumo and the woman are suddenly under attack as an arrow zips right past her face, but Chumo snatches the other one from the air. A new masked attacker with a crossbow joins the fray, and together they grab the beast's corpse. A flash of light erupts from the ground, a teleportation item letting them escape. Chumo wonders why they risked everything for a dead beast. Elsewhere in the dangerous realm, 2 other explorers find a rare valuable herb. This woman finds the lack of beast suspicious, but her partner is unconcerned. Suddenly she signals for silence, hearing someone approach. They watch from the bushes as the attackers from before regroup. One pulls off a mask, complaining about how tough Chumo was. His leader is furious they failed their mission and blew their cover. This woman hiding in the bushes recognizes him. It's Nai Yu, a member of Grandmaster Yi Hua's escort team. She questions why he's here in a jade house disguise. Nai Yu declares their new goal is to find what the woman in green is after. He insists the beast's corpse is far more valuable anyway. Back with Chu Mo, the woman in green confirms the beast was a strange hybrid level 2 strength, but with the body of a level 5 creature. Chu Mo theorizes the realm itself restricts all beings to level 2, and with so many secrets they need to find the treasure and leave. This team moves on unaware they're being watched. This Wanhua plate guides them into a glowing cave and she orders her guards to stay behind. She and Chu Mo venture alone into the icy depths, moving deeper into the silent cavern. She notes the eerie lack of life, just vital energy flowing toward a legendary treasure. She smiles, confirming their prize is just ahead. They arrive in a chamber filled with swirling power, and at its center a glowing orb floats. This legendary Xuanyuan Chalcedony. She explains it's a treasure that can break physical limits. Chumo counts 10 of the precious orbs in total. As promised, she offers him half of the treasure and he accepts, knowing this will boost his power immensely. But Chumo senses something is wrong. He tells her this isn't the true source of the energy. She checks again, realizing he's right, and Chumo points to a seemingly solid wall. His hand reveals a hidden spatial barrier, concealing the real treasure they've been seeking. Together they step through the portal into darkness, but Chumo immediately shouts a warning. A powerful force suddenly surrounds them. She struggles against the immense pressure as they find themselves before the Boundary Origin Stone. This is the Boundary Origin Stone, a treasure that governs space itself. This woman in green realizes Chumo has a space talent, but he downplays it, calling it an unmastered level 2 skill. She's still stunned, glad her alliance recruited him early on. She explains only his space transfer can get past the energy storms protecting it, offering him the stone which will guarantee a boost to his talent. Chumo doesn't hesitate, launching himself toward the prize. He teleports through the swirling vortex and successfully grabs the cosmic crystal. A sudden vision floods his mind, a horned being on a throne, a blinding flash of the realm's true power. He lands back on the ground, stone in hand, as she congratulates him. Chumo now understands the realm's secret. It's collapsing, suppressing the beast's true power. She's shocked to learn they're all actually level 5 monsters. He insists they absorb the treasures now to prepare for what's coming. Breaking their physical limits is their only hope for survival. He knows suggesting they meditate together requires incredible trust, but she agrees, instantly finding him more and more interesting. They sit in the quiet cavern preparing to ascend. A golden aura envelops Chumo as he absorbs the Chalcedony's energy, and he asks his system for a full combat analysis. His physical limits are broken, his base strength massively increased. With time still left, he decides to fuse with the Boundary Origin Stone. He holds the crystal, channeling his energy into it, and the stone shatters, its power flowing directly into his body. Chumo finds himself floating in a cosmic void as a strange energy surges directly into his chest, this universe itself now reflected in his eyes. He snaps back to reality, realizing the starlight fused with him. And he looks down at the Boundary Origin Stone, which crumbles into dust in his hand. He wonders just how powerful his space talent has become. This system confirms a massive upgrade to a superior attribute, granting him a new skill, a portable space. A glowing imprint manifests on his palm and he tests it, creating a pocket dimension around him. He realizes his current power has its limits, but the 20 cubic meters of space is a good start. Just then, the woman in green celebrates her own breakthrough. Having shattered her limits and reached the Master Realm, Chumo congratulates her and she jumps, not realizing he was there. He explains he finished meditating early and she admits he has an ethereal vibe she can't sense. He reveals the stone's fusion gave him the realm's aura, and she ponders the implications of this new ability when Chumo suddenly shouts a warning about the surface. Outside, her guards are locked in a desperate battle with werbeasts, and one man's blade is shattered by a vicious swipe. He falls back wounded as a shadow looms over him, his comrade looking on in absolute horror. This massive werbeast looms over the fallen guard, swinging its deadly claws down for the kill, but a sky-splitting blade of energy intercepts the blow. This guard stare in utter shock and relief as Chumo appears looking stronger than ever before. He leaps into the fight without hesitation, his blade clashing directly with the monster's claws. He dodges a furious swipe with incredible speed, his eyes glowing with cold determination. Now facing multiple beasts, he prepares for a wider attack, unleashing a powerful slash of energy through the air. This werbeasts are thrown back, completely overwhelmed, and he lands among the fallen, his sword now glowing purple. He raises his weapon for another powerful strike, carving a cross of light through the remaining monsters. This guards can't believe his power, realizing the rumors were an understatement. This woman in green is stunned by his terrifying potential for growth. But a new challenger appears, its heavy foot cracking the ground. And Chumo turns to face the alpha. This beast later speaks, demanding a key for its king.